and his assistant, Evan Johnson, your Indiana.
Well, this arena has exploded for the introduction of the home team, the Indiana Pacers. Hearing it from this very loud crowd. And as always, we are joined on the sidelines by Ahmad Rashad. Let's go to Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Marv. I made my customary visit to both locker rooms. In the Knicks locker room, it wasn't tight. It wasn't a tight locker room, but everybody very serious and very businesslike. I think they all realize that all the work they put in has come down to just this one game. On the other side, in the Pacers locker room, what a transformation. The first two games of the series, they were very tentative, very tight. That has all changed. This locker room was very loose. These guys really realizing that they have a chance to take the next step to the NBA championship. Now, in terms of injuries, for the Pacers, Rick Smith has a bruised thigh. He'll wear a pad on it. And for the Knicks, I talked to the trainer, Mike Saunders. He said everybody's fine except for one person that he was worried about. The guy was a little bit tight before the game. He felt like once the game started, he'd get over that and he would be available. That person was Spike Lee.
All right, Ahmad. Somehow I think Spike will work through it. The officials, Daryl Garrison, N.T. Rush, Jess Kersey. The Houston Rockets awaiting the winner. Game 1 of the NBA final at the Summit in Houston next Wednesday. The Knicks hoping to bring this series back to New York for a 7th game on Sunday, and they do control the opening tip. Derek Hopper, played by Haywood Workman. John Starks, met by Reggie Miller. Patrick Ewing facing the double team, got it out to Carl Smith. And the Knicks take the 2-0 lead.
Well, right away, the Knicks looking much sharper against the double team as Patrick got rid of it quickly. And good decision by Charles Smith as the defender jumped in the passing lane and he got the shooter's roll.
Charles Smith had a strong game on Wednesday through 3 quarters, then got in foul trouble. Workman. McKee, shot clock at 5. And here's Spitz. Pacers with that home record of 10-0 since April the 8th. They won their last 4 in the regular season. They are 6-0 in the playoffs at Market Square Arena. And Derek McKee called for the foul. That will put Charles Smith at the line.
Well, Charles got off to such a good start in Game 5 in New York the other night, scoring 8 points in the first quarter, scored 8 points in the third quarter. Knicks trying to get him in post-up situations. Normally, the Pacers are fronting him. They made a couple of nice lob passes the other night to get him some easy baskets.
Charles Smith has made it back from arthroscopic knee surgery. In this series, first 4 games, not a factor at all. Average just 4.5 points, shot about 37%. Charles Smith with the first 4 points for the Knicks. Here's some light pressure by Hopper. Haywood Workman has picked up his play after the slow start first 2 games. Smith. We asked Larry Brown earlier about Rick Smith, who fouled out of the game the other night, played only 18 minutes. Larry said he should be well rested for tonight. Ewing from way out and rebounded by Dale Davis. Miller gets it down to McKee. McKee on the drive. McKee with the rebound and fouled by Smith.
Well, the Indiana Pacers looking to generate some kind of offense, and they're going to need something from Derek McKee, whether it be open floor, whether it be post-up situations. Here, the nice crossover move to take the ball aggressively to the basket. He has been putting up modest numbers, but consistent over the last 2 games. Double-figure scoring, about 7-8 rebounds, 4 or 5 assists, a few steals, and that's just about what the Pacers need from Derek McKee.
Yes, Derek McKee had a terrible time of it, games 1 and 2 in New York, 0 for 7 and 2 for 9, but has certainly done it the last 3 games. More aggressive offensively. Well, Patrick Ewing has already matched his rebound total. Of all of Game 5, he had only 2 rebounds. One of the negative stats that the Knicks showed. Derek Hopper extending to a 6-1 lead. And the call away from the ball against the Knicks It's on Patrick Ewing.
A pet play of the Pacers where Reggie Miller comes up to set a back pick to try to free up Rick Smits into a post position, and Ewing with the little extra hit trying to take a little starch out of Reggie Miller.
Remember, the Knicks jumped in front 15-2 in game number 5, but then the Indiana Pacers with the roll of the fourth quarter, a 20-1 spurt, and they ended up pulling it out. The steal by Harper. Harper on the move. Rebounded by McKee. Harper thought he was fouled. Open shot for Workman. Rebound Davis. And he will go to the line. Dale Davis has had a very difficult time at the foul line. Charles Oakley called for that personal. Indiana Pacers 13 of 26 at the line on Wednesday, Matt. They missed 12 of their first 15, and then they hit 8 for 8 in the fourth quarter, where things certainly turned around.
Well, Dale was 0 for 6 in that ball game and just 5 for 16 in this series, and continues to struggle. However, the Pacers can certainly live with it because of the job he's doing on Charles Oakley on the boards. They're getting some offensive rebounds and playing good, tough defense.
Well, he got the roll, and the Knicks now lead 6-2. Starks breaking down and beat the Pacers down court. John Starks giving the Knicks an 8-2 lead.
A rare defensive transition mistake by the Indiana Pacers. That normally does not happen, especially in this building.
And the steal by Harper. He stripped Workman. So the Knicks again off to the fast start. They're up 10-2. Indiana 0 for its first 4. And I believe Larry Brown wants to talk it over. Timeout taken. 3 minutes gone by in the first quarter. It's the Knicks 10 and Indiana 2.
Well, the Indiana defense going to fall asleep right around midcourt, thinking that John Starks just going to move the ball as he crosses over on Reggie Miller. McKee runs out of the way, and John Starks gets on the board with an easy one. And good pressure by Derek Harper, something he did in the first quarter in Madison Square Garden in Game 5. This time picking the pocket of Hayward Workman, and the Knicks are going to need a lot more of that from Derek Harper and Greg Anthony.
Over the first 3 minutes, Reggie Miller has not attempted a shot. Indiana not able to hit a field goal to this point. Reggie Miller coming off that astounding display of long-distance shooting Wednesday night in New York. We asked Pat Riley earlier, will there be any adjustments in defending against Reggie Miller?
We're not going to give him any open shots. We're going to work to not give him airspace, which has been our plan since the playoffs began. It's been our style since we taught individual defense on pin downs and screens and stuff. We're going to work hard to push him to the basketball so he can catch it, and everybody knows where he is when he catches it.
Well, so far, John Starks has not been following those instructions. He's actually trying to deny Reggie Miller the ball, not making contact. And Starks is not going to look to help anybody else, and that's the way it should be.
Indiana having difficulty finding shots. Not Derek McKee, though, with the shot clock running down. He line drives it home. And that's the first field goal for the Pacers. Ewing with a gorgeous move and the foul. So Patrick Ewing will go to the line. Foul committed by Rick Smits.
And John Starks creates this play by taking the ball to the center and catches Ewing going in on the left side. Not a smart foul by Rick Smits. He was already beaten clearly. Should have just given way as Patrick Ewing flips this one up, and it's a good roll.
Knicks 12, Pacers 4. Three-point play for Ewing, who on Wednesday night was on his way to a very strong game. 10 of 15, 29 points, 8 of 9 from the line, and then silent in the fourth quarter. The Knicks not able to get him the basketball in the midst of all those turnovers. Miller's pass deflected, and it's a fast break for Oakley. Charles Oakley extends to a 15-4 Knick lead.
Kind of similar the way the game started in Game 5, with the Knicks getting a lot of open court and fast break chances.
Derek Harper all over Hayward Workman, looking for the steal at every opportunity. And Reggie Miller converts on his first field goal attempt. A three-pointer for Miller. And it's 15, Pacers 7. Harper shot, stopped. Smith's outlet, picked off by Starks, who fires. Yes, that's a 3 for John Starks. And the Knicks are up 18-7.
So the second time that Reggie Miller touched the ball, he was getting itchy fingers. He lets one go from behind. John Starks really on top of his game right now, defensively and very alert offensively.
And the foul called on Ewing, who was trying to help out on Miller.
John Starks doing an excellent job of anticipating and stepping into the passing lane and not only stealing the ball, but getting the bucket as well.
Patrick Ewing picking up his second, and in a moment we'll see the former Pacer, Herb Williams, come on for Ewing. Pacers trying to go to Smiths. They'd like to see a third picked up by Ewing before he is able to depart. Ewing has to play him softly, let him go.
Good patience on the part of the Pacers, and this is what Rick Smith did last weekend in the 2 games here. Did a good job of covering up Ewing, but you're right, Mark. Patrick just had to give way there and not pick up a third.
Knicks 18, the Pacers 9. Oakley, Charles Oakley with a rare turnaround jump shot from the baseline of the Knicks on fire here at the start. They've hit 6 of their first 7, and they lead 20-9. Smith's over Smith. And off the stage, Starks can't handle it. It will be Indiana ball. And now Herb Williams will replace Patrick Ewing. Ewing sitting down with 3 points, 3 rebounds, 2 fouls.
Well, so many of these games in the playoffs are games of spurts, and these teams really are evenly matched. It was very important for the Knicks to come out and stay close in this one to give themselves some confidence. But we also saw them do that in Game 5.
Yes, they got off to the 15-2 run right at the start. Indiana going right to Smith, who has a good 5 inches on Williams. Rick Smith with a second field goal. The Knicks 20, the Pacers 11. 6:15 remaining first quarter. Oakley tried to draw the foul, then rejected, and he was fouled. Charles Oakley, who said if he can walk, he'll play. Ahmad talked about that sprained left ankle. Charles is hobbling a bit, but he's hanging in. And he drew that foul on Smiths. For Smiths, his second, which means we'll see Antonio Davis.
As Charles got out of the foot, Derek Harper doing a good job of getting into the lane, either on open floor situations, but so far he's been able to get by his man, Haywood Workman, and is making good decisions, dropping the ball off, kicking it out for some open shots. They really look like they have no fear in this game. Coming out, playing kind of with a reckless abandon at both ends of the floor. That's how you have to approach a game on the road. But the important thing is staying in the game. They're not only doing that, they've got a nice little lead now.
21-11. Knicks with the lead. Antonio Davis, who had a strong game in New York on Wednesday. 12 points, 10 rebounds, has replaced Rick Smiths. Antonio, though, has a sore right hand and sore right elbow from wear and tear dating back to a break in preseason, and took a shot on the elbow from Charles Oakley, which he did not appreciate it. McKee's shot was blocked by Smith. Harper with Starks. Starks around Miller. Try to go glass. Rebounded by Antonio Davis. Miller met on a switch. And the Knicks are going with the double team on Reggie Miller. Here's Workman for 3. Haywood Workman from downtown.
Oh, it was such a big part of the game in the third period when the point guard was leaving Workman to try to help on Reggie Miller, and that was before he had the hot hand. And Haywood Workman hit 3 straight jump shots.
Knicks 22, the Pacers 14. Herb Williams facing a double team. John Starks for 3. Yes. John Starks, a notorious streak shooter, hitting on a second 3-pointer. The Knicks 25 and the Pacers 14. Workman trying to protect the ball against Harper, who always looks for the steal. Antonio Davis. Antonio does not take many outside shots. Nice baseline jump by Davis, and the Knicks lead by 9 with 4:45 to go. And the first. Oakley from way out. Antonio Davis with the box out. picked off, and the foul called on Williams.
Well, the defense so conscious of Reggie Miller. He got rid of the ball over here, but over on this side of the floor, Haywood Workman left wide open on the double team of the New York. The defense of the Knicks so conscious of Reggie Miller that these other players are going to get some open shots, and Reggie will give the ball up.
The Knicks are over the foul limit. Reggie Miller to the line for the first time. Reggie's free throw shooting has been off during the playoffs. 91% from the line during the regular season. Second in the league to Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf of the Denver Nuggets. Workman sitting down. Indiana now 2 of 5 from the line. Vern Fleming has checked in. Vern took a shot in the throat Wednesday night in New York. He actually lost his voice for a while. Teammates said it changed his voice for a while. Here's Harper. Nice move by Derek Harper. And the Knicks lead 27-17. Vern Fleming, all right. Handles against Derek Harper.
As long as he doesn't have to talk.
Right. Miller came off the pick. Nice look. Harold Davis from Derek McKee. McKee had noted that Oakley had turned his head. He was more concerned with Miller. And Oakley with a bad pass. Williams with a save, and it's picked off by McKee. Here's Fleming on a hesitation move. The Knicks by 6. The Knicks led by as many as 11. And Pat Riley calls for time.
All right, Marv, as you just saw there, Charles Oakley took that inadvertent elbow from Dale Davis. He is bleeding from the mouth, but he seems to be fine. He's back out there playing. I don't think anything can keep Charles out of this game.
Derek Harper off the mark on that three-point attempt. The Knicks lead 27-21. Indiana's come on, though. They've hit their last 4 shots. 8 of 14 overall. Miller with the setup for Antonio Davis. And a blocking foul called on the Knicks. Foul committed by Oakley. That's his second.
And once again, this play created because the defense so concerned with Reggie Miller. Herb Williams had showed out to try to help. It was a John Starks to try to slow up Reggie Miller, and that enabled Antonio Davis to get a nice little catch, and Oakley came over and picked up that foul.
Anthony Mason has replaced Charles Oakley. 6 points for Oakley. 2 of 3 from the field. Antonio Davis, who has also had his problems at the free throw line. And once again, Indiana with major difficulty at the line. 3 of 7. That's where Oakley took the shot. The Knicks shooting 10 of 15. Got off to the hot start. But Indiana is within 5. We come up on 3 minutes remaining first quarter. Matt Gukas and Ahmad Rashad from Indianapolis. Here's Harper. And rebounded by Antonio Davis. A lot of shots for Derek Harper. 3 of 7 from the field here at the start. Miller on a quick release. Rebound, Dale Davis. Able to recover. U24 for the Pacers. McKee with a nice pass for Miller.
And that is why Reggie Miller is so tough to defend. Not only coming off screens, he is in constant movement without the ball.
Oh, bad sequence by the Knicks. It was kicked into the backcourt, and then a foul was called. Well, the Knicks, who went turnover crazy in the fourth quarter, got rattled the other night. Following this play, a nice pass for Reggie Miller. They give it right back, and a foul called on Herb Williams.
And it looked like Herb Williams was the guy that stripped Derek Harper of the ball. And I don't know why he would have put his hand out as Herb tries to stop the breakaway layup with a foul, and does.
Antonio Davis only 64% from the line during the season. He's hit 2 out of 3, though. And a timeout call, a 20 taken by New York. The Knicks hoping to tie the series at 3. While Indiana looking to wrap it to go up against the Houston Rockets in the NBA Finals starting next Wednesday. Quick recap. Game 1, Knicks won, led by Charles Oakley. Game 2, an 11-point victory. Patrick Ewing providing the spark with 32 points. Game 2, those games played at Madison Square Garden. The Pacers at that time seemed to be overwhelmed by the whole scene, but then they came bouncing back when the scene shifted to Indiana. Pacers winning 88-68. That was a record playoff low point total by the Knicks. Pacers won Game 4 last Monday as Reggie Miller broke out with 31. And then in Game 5, it was Reggie Miller time with that extraordinary fourth quarter. 25 of his 39 in the fourth, including 5 of 5 from downtown. And the Knicks now lead by 1. They led by as many as 11. Here's pressure leading to the travel. And again, the Knicks have become unraveled.
Part of it is the pressure defense. Normally a sure ball handler, Anthony Mason, as he, I guess, got his hand underneath the ball to gain some ground. A very, very close call there by referee Darryl Garrettson.
Indiana in the midst of a 12-2 run. Knicks led by as many as 11. It's down to a 1-point lead. Masao Thompson, who played so well the other night, has come on for the first time, and he is matched with Anthony Mason. Here is Derek McKee, the shot deflected short and handled by Smith. Mason facing a double team. Greg Anthony now in the backcourt with John Starks. Starks lost it. Recovered by Mason. Starks for 3. Yes. A straightaway shot from downtown by John Starks, his third three-pointer of the quarter. And the Knicks now lead 30-26.
Another well-executed play. It's a little bit ragged right now. They just don't seem to have an idea of what they want to do offensively.
Charles Smith with the steal. And just Kersey calling the foul. It's a block on Fleming, who was able to cut off Smith.
During that last 22nd timeout, Pat really getting on his team about rebounding, but he also should be getting on them about handling the basketball and getting into some kind of offense. I thought Derek Harper got a little bit carried away. He was 3 for 7 before he went out, but taking too many perimeter shots. With Patrick Ewing on the bench, and this is really when this thing all started, we got to look inside to either Charles Smith or Mason or get some good screens for John Starks' jump shots.
Byron Scott replacing Reggie Miller, who sits down 2 of 3, 6 points. And Mason lost it again. Anthony Mason, usually a sure-handed guy with the basketball, has turned it over twice. Here's Fleming, blocked by Anthony on the recovery. Pacers move within 2. Vern Fleming with a second field goal. And again, the pressure, which has bothered the Knicks. Smith. Rebound, Mason, blocked by Antonio Davis. Fleming. Starks knocked it away, but it is recaptured. .35 seconds left, first quarter. Antonio Davis. Knicks have a 3-on-2. Anthony for 3. Yes. Greg Anthony has been hitting the three-pointer during the course of the playoffs, and he's given the Knicks a 33-28 lead. Indiana would like to hold for a final shot. Vern Fleming looking over at Larry Brown on the Pacer bench. 8 seconds. Fleming. 5. Fleming. It counts, and the foul.
Well, Vern Fleming does not beat you with speed or quickness, but he uses that 6'5" lanky frame very well, and he's got a big size advantage over Greg Anthony, who's about 6'1", and he protects the dribble very well, backs in, uses that long reach, and able to shoot over. He has given the Pacers another effective stretch here. He also did in Game 5.
3-point play for Fleming. The Knicks lead is 2. Final seconds of the quarter. Anthony looking for the rule. And got off a pretty good shot. After one, the Knicks led by as many as 11. But they're now clinging to a 2-point lead. Good start by John Stockton, 4 out of 5, doing it from downtown. The Knicks 33, the Pacers 31.
Wednesday. So now tell me this, what is your reaction to all these people saying that you were the reason that the Knicks lost?
Well, I didn't make those turnovers. I wasn't one that couldn't make the entry pass. But we're going to win tonight, and it'll be a Game 7 Sunday.
All right. Spoken like a true fan. Thanks, Mike. Thank you, Mike.
All right, Ahmad, and as you saw, as the second quarter gets underway, Rick Smith's got the excellent position on Patrick Ewing, and he's tied the game at 33. Charles Oakley buries the jump shot. Hubert Davis now in the backcourt with Greg Anthony. Patrick Ewing playing with 2 fouls up front with Charles Oakley and Anthony Mason. Hayward Workman has returned for the Pacers. Ian Byron Scott up the guards. Rick Smits, Dale Davis, and Kenny Williams up front. Smits trying to pick up a third on Ewing.
And that time, Patrick doing a much better job of pushing Smits just a little bit further out than his jump hook range and forcing the miss.
Minute gone by in the second quarter. And Jess Kersey, the outside official, blowing the whistle, and a foul is called on the Pacers. A push on Dale Davis.
One of the reasons why the Pacers are leading 3-2 in this series is the good job that Dale Davis and occasionally Antonio Davis doing on Charles Oakley. That time Oakley trying to either cut to the rim or get offensive rebounding position, and the takedown by Dale.
Once again, careless play by the Knicks. The crowd was looking for a travel on Anthony, and then Ewing lost the pass. Another Knick turnover. They have 5. Pacers also with 5. Over the last 3 games, 67 turnovers committed by the Knicks. Foul committed by Anthony. Well, Georgetown coach John Thompson, who has followed this series around, providing the needle to Spike Lee, just in case he had not seen the headlines in the New York papers. Yes, Spike was all over the newspapers, as he pointed out, and did not seem to be thrilled about it because he feels that he is being blamed for the motivational tactics utilized by Reggie Miller. You know, they had established a friendly wager before the series began. If the Pacers win, Spike Lee said he would cast Miller's wife, model Marita, in his next movie. If the Knicks win, Miller would visit Mike Tyson in prison. Now, Spike says Marita would get a line, not a role. He says he's not exactly looking to jeopardize his film. A vote of confidence for Marita. Game is tied at 35. Here's Ewing, and he drew the foul on Smits. Rick Smits argues the call, and he has picked up a quick 3.
Well, Patrick Ewing expecting the hard double team from Indiana right away, making the quick move before the double team can get down there. And Smits getting into foul trouble the other night.
Correction, Matt. Although Smits was complaining about the call, Kenny Williams picked up the foul. So Smits with 2. And Pat Riley discussing that last call with the official Ed Rush. The Knicks felt it was on Smits. So Smits and Ewing each have 2. The Knicks now lead 37 to 35. Workman played by Anthony. Scott being guarded by Davis. Williams off the pick. Oakley with the diving play. Anthony on a pull-up. Yes. And the Knicks lead 39-35.
Another good hustle play by Charles Oakley. Looked like he hurt his right hand that time. Actually, Charles looks a little quicker tonight than he did on Wednesday in New York. Battling hard as usual.
Yes, he seemed to be struggling Wednesday because of the ankle sprain. Here's Smits. Rebound Ewing. And Rick Smits felt he was fouled by Patrick Ewing.
I don't think he realized how good a position he had.
Greg Anthony with a beautiful play. He's hit 3 out of 4. He has 7, and he has provided a spark for the Knicks, who now lead by 6.
That was not a clean fast break, but that's a semi-break, and the Knicks have 13 points already on the fast break. Their goal is 10.
Nice play by Davis. Scott. And it's punched out of bounds. Darryl Garrison says jump ball.
Jump ball. Officials timeout.
Ed Rush looking for the call from the outside official, Darryl Garrison, who says jump it up. The first a timeout is taken.
Well, here's the ball going up as it looked like Kenny Williams from behind just wailing away at it, slapped it out of bounds, but we'll jump it up when we come back.
And Reggie Miller. 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter, and the Knicks with a 41-35 lead. 6 consecutive points. Greg Anthony with 4 of those 6. Davis facing a double team. Anthony's pass deflected away by Dale Davis.
Two very shaky passes by Greg Anthony, who has come off the Knicks bench and given them some offensive punch with 7 points, but has to be much sharper with his passing. He was one of the Knicks who got them in trouble in the early part of the fourth quarter on Wednesday night.
Davis, and the tip by Oakley. Oakley with 10 points. The Knicks with 8 unanswered. And they're up 43-35. Smits battling for possession. Rick Smits with the jump hook over Patrick Ewing, and Smits has come out in very aggressive fashion. Well, the Knicks with 43 points have already surpassed their first half scoring in games 3 and 4. Davis went to the left hand. Smits with the rebound. Only 4 minutes have gone by in this second quarter. Here's Smits. Games 3 and 4 played here in Indianapolis, where the Knicks had all kinds of problems with their offense. Not the case here to this point. And Mason will go to the line.
Real nice look by Patrick Ewing as he drew the double team, and a duck in by Mason. On that last tip-in a couple of trips ago by Charles Oakley, that was the first 2 second chance points for the Knicks. And the way the game started the other night, the Indiana Pacers dominating the backboards, and the Knicks getting a lot of fast break. That's an unbelievable amount of points for these 2 teams in the first quarter, with the Knicks leading 33-31.
Anthony Mason has been very quiet offensively, and he's been getting the playing time. On the line off the foul by Byron Scott. Reggie Miller and Vern Fleming now return.
Well, the Pacers have shown Mason a lot of respect. When he does post up, they come down and double team him, much like they would Patrick Ewing, because they think he's got a very good inside right-hand move, which he does, and they want to get the ball out of his hands, and they also want to keep him off the offensive glass.
The Knicks 45, the Pacers 37. Fleming calling out a play. 10-2 run by New York. Williams. Play not developing. Shot clock at 5. Williams had it knocked away by Mason. It's a 4-on-1. Starks with a look away. Good catch by Mason. That could have fooled him. Anthony Mason taking that last second pass also took a poke in the eye.
A nice pass and catch situation between Starks and Mason. And New York always comes in the game looking to get some open floor situations and fast break. It's just that they don't sustain it very long. The nice strip by Mason, and John Starks taking it hard and going to take this ball as far as he can, thinking layup and drawing the defender, and the nice little kickoff to Anthony Mason.
And we had different people step up, so I think from that standpoint, yes. And then the fact that a lot of people haven't expected us to do well, there's similarities, but all those teams started to play well in the second half of the year, and I don't think this is an accident that we're in this position right now.
And a lot of credit has to go to Larry Brown. He is such a good coach and teacher that these players learn as the season goes on. I've noticed it on the college level and the professional level as well.
Nice play by Starks to set it up, leading to the Indiana foul. Larry Brown certainly has made the moves around the country, but wherever he has been, he has won. Dale Davis called for that foul. Larry Brown had Kiki Vandeweghe as his major star with the Bruins of UCLA. Danny Manning at Kansas, then had him with the Los Angeles Clippers. And certainly his main guy here is Reggie Miller, so he has had one star usually surrounded by some pretty good role players.
Well, I know he had two good little guards at UCLA, Michael Holton and Rod Foster. Very quick players, very active, good defensive players, which was a big reason for their success that year. But of course, Kiki Vandeweghe was an outstanding college player and pro player later on.
13-2 run on the Knicks. Davis leaping to that rebound. The Knicks lead 48-37. Miller shaking loose. Air ball fielded by Mason. Key all over Mason, who handles it and then loses it. Fleming with the steal. Fleming sets up Miller. Miller had the shot deflected by Mason, and now foul is called. And Anthony Mason very careless with the basketball here in the second quarter.
Well, he kept it too long on the dribble as he was being pressured by Derek McKee, and it resulted in the steal from Vern Fleming. And you have to give the Pacers a fast break situation there, even though it was only 3-on-3, and that is their first of this ball game. As Fleming able to outrace John Starks, and Reggie Miller going to get this shot blocked as Mason tries to recover and does, and gets a piece of the ball. But Vern Fleming winds up on the free throw line.
Called on Anthony. Now Derek Hopper returns, replacing Greg Anthony, who picked up his third. That shot blocked by Reggie Miller was from three-point range. He had hit his last 6 three-pointers. Fleming running two, and a loose ball foul called on Oakley, so that's 3 on Charles Oakley.
Charles chasing down this loose ball, and the little extra right hip into the back of Vern Fleming. Oakley was the one that hit Fleming in the throat inadvertently the other night. However, the Indiana coaching staff and players didn't think it was so inadvertent. They say that Charles Oakley has been doing that throughout the series, along with Anthony Mason. That little extra hit after the play, and that one got caught on the Adams out.
Not shooting foul. The Knicks with their 13th foul. Indiana has 4. Dale Davis for Vern Fleming. Fleming with a backdoor pass for Reggie Miller. It has been a splendid first half for Vern Fleming. The Knicks lead is now 8. Dale Davis with the intercept. Now Miller guarded by Hopper. Davis. And the Pacers have moved within 6. Hopper calls for a timeout.
Reggie Miller continues to work without the basketball, and the height advantage that Vern Fleming has here, able to see over. Not enough pressure on the ball as Fleming on a nice back cut, one of his patented moves without the ball. Fleming again rifles it in there. Patrick Ewing not there in time.
All right, Bob. 6-point Knick lead. They led by as many as 11. Indiana with 5 straight points after that 13-2 Knick run. Hopper guarded by Fleming. Hopper and Starks in the backcourt. And a holding foul on Antonio Davis with Rick Smith sitting down. Antonio Davis, who goes 6'9", very strong though at 230 pounds, forced to guard Patrick Ewing.
And Antonio claiming that Patrick Ewing had a handle on his shorts, which he did with the left hand, trying to hold him off and keep him on his back. Now discussing it with the officials. At the other end of the floor, with Smits out of the game, Patrick Ewing is trying to match up with Dale Davis, who's not an active offensive player or looking for his jump shot, so Patrick will hang around him, try to help out with other people, but the danger there is that Dale Davis can get to the offensive board. Ahmad Rashad telling us that during that last timeout, Larry Brown telling his team that now that we are finally playing some defense, let's try to get out and run and get some fast breaks, because the Pacers did not come out and play good defense early.
The Knicks 12 of 13 from the line. Ewing has 7 points. Only 2 shots, though, attempted by Patrick Ewing in this first half. He's 1 of 2 from the field. The Knicks over the Pacers by 8 as we come up on 5 minutes left in the half. Fleming drawing the double team and a foul. Vern Fleming, a New York area product, has come off the bench and has done an excellent job. Charles Smith called on the foul. Vern, a guy who has earned the Perseverance Award every year. The Pacers try to trade him. Every year he stays and contributes, although Matt, this season he was hard hit by injury. Miller gets the pick. Pick and roll with Daryl Davis, who is stripped. Good play by Smith. Starks wants the ball wide open at the near side of the court. And now gets the ball and feeds Mason. Here's Hoffer. Won't count. 3-second violation call.
Well, the Knicks kept exploring and exploring. Good Pacer defense, as Pat Riley is saying, move the ball, which they were doing. But Pat is saying to referee Jess Kersey, the pass was being made out as Anthony Mason got caught in the lane, and he felt that he should have been given an opportunity to move himself out of the lane. He just passed the ball.
The Knicks committing their 8th turnover. Indiana has 7. Fleming calling out a play. Miller underneath, guarded by Starks. McKee was looking for Fleming, who was cutting. McKee gets inside. Nice move. Very patiently done by Derek McKee.
That is strong fashion that time. He just pivoted right into Charles Smith, held him on that right hip, and flipped it up easily with his left hand.
And flanges of the trapping defense, which continues to plague the Knicks. Shot well in the half, though. 17 of 29, just under 60%. Ewing off balance with the shot clock running down. Rebounded by Smith. Charles Smith getting position on Antonio Davis to give the Knicks a 52-44 lead.
And just the second offensive rebound and stick back for the Knicks in this first half.
Nice pass again. McKee and Miller have combined on several occasions.
And now the third backdoor cut by Reggie Miller, and that's happening because John Starks is turning his head, not seeing the ball, trying to deny Reggie Miller the ball. It's a good idea, but you got to see part of the ball in this case.
Illegal defense called for the first time against the Pacers.
Well, actually, John Starks loses him there. He just got caught going up, and the quick back cut by Reggie Miller. And the weak side defense of New York just too slow to react.
Haywood Workman has come on for Vern Fleming. Fleming, 8 points, 2 steals, 4 rebounds. 3:05 remaining in the half. Here's Hoffer for 3. Rebound run down by Antonio Davis. Reggie Miller looking to put the move on John Starks. Antonio Davis slips his way in. He was able to penetrate past 3 Knicks.
Well, miscommunication between Charles Smith and Anthony Mason. Who's got him? I don't have him. You don't have him. He had a layup.
Anthony Mason very fortunate to recover on that inbounds. And then a bad pass. And now the Knicks are talking it up on the court, which we have seen from time to time when things do not go well.
Well, Patrick Ewing has 2 fouls. He didn't want to step in there, but Charles Smith should have picked Mason up in that play, but he didn't do it because he was guarding Derek McKee.
5 turnovers for Mason, who usually handles the ball extremely well. Miller to the fadeaway. Ewing involved with Antonio Davis, and the foul on Davis. Loose ball foul That's his second.
And the crowd does not agree with this. Antonio Davis does not agree with this. As everybody thought he went up with it with two hands. Not a bad call, however, as Jess Kersey not in the best position to make that call, but I think he got it right as Antonio Davis did come over the back ever so slightly.
And it's a foul that puts Indiana over the limit. Antonio Davis will sit down, replaced by LaSalle Thompson. LaSalle Thompson came on in Game 5 at Madison Square Garden and did a solid job setting picks to unleash Reggie Miller. Came up with 3 steals. Did a nice job in guarding Patrick Ewing.
We'll see if the Pacers go to the half-court offense where they run Reggie Miller off those baseline screens, and to see if LaSalle Thompson can continue to get him up. Notice that the Knicks are starting to openly bicker with one another, which is something they were doing in the late third, early fourth quarter in Game 5. They're getting very testy with one another at both ends of the floor.
Well, we have seen this club on a number of occasions lose their poise. We saw that certainly in the fourth quarter on Wednesday night. Here's Thompson. And it comes to Workman. McKee. Over the top, says Darryl Garrison. The ball ricocheted over the backboard, and it goes to the Knicks.
Well, give John Starks credit defensively there. LaSalle Thompson did set a good screen for Reggie Miller, and John just made a very good defensive play by hugging up on Reggie Miller, preventing him from getting an open look.
Just under 2 minutes remaining. Charles Smith picked off Hayward Workman. Crowd wanted a foul. Just under 2 minutes to go. First half, Patrick Ewing with a nice move. And the Knicks now lead 56-48. 11 points for Ewing. For the most part from the foul line. He's 7 of 7 at the line. And the Knicks are 14 of 15 at the free throw line. Here's Miller. And deflected out. Last touched by the Knicks.
Reggie Miller right away turns to Jess Kersey. Why no foul on that play as he made the quick move and drew contact from Patrick Ewing. He was looking to get 2 free throws.
Indiana Pacers looking to advance to the NBA Finals for the first time and to a championship series for the first time since they were in the ABA in 1975. So the ball goes back to the Knicks. Indiana Pacers won the ABA championship 3 times. The last time in 1973, hopping off the Kentucky Colonels. The last time the Knicks were in the NBA Finals was the 72-73 season when they beat the Los Angeles Lakers for their second championship. 8-point lead. Starks gives it back. Mason. And the Pacers wanting to call him over the top of the backboard, and they get it.
Hayward Workman trying to rifle one down on the baseline as Jess Kersey, watching the players involved, gets clipped with the basketball. Gotta keep your eyes open and see the whole floor, Jess.
Pacers have missed their last 4 shots. Here's Thompson. Gotta go glass. Thompson got it back. 30 seconds left in the hand. Miller will it count? Darryl Garrison with the indication that it came before the shot attempt. Holding foul on John Starks, so he does not get the call on the continuation.
Reggie Miller realizing that John a little bit out of control there, rushing out to prevent the 3-point shot, makes the smart play of quickly putting it on the floor and drawing that contact, actually running into John Starks. Reggie Miller just a very clever offensive player.
Reggie, now 2 of 3 from the line. Knicks lead by 7. High point man of the game, Patrick Ewing, John Starks, Charles Oakley, each with 11. Reggie Miller has 11. Antonio Davis with 9. The Houston Rockets awaiting the winner. And it's a long layoff for Houston. Game 1 of the NBA Finals will not take place until next Wednesday at the Summit in Houston. The Knicks 56 and the Pacers 50. It's a skyrocketing score as we approach the half when you talk about the Knicks and the Pacers. Mason getting inside. Mason able to convert, and the Knicks now lead 58-50. Final seconds of the half. Bob Costas coming up with the Prudential halftime report. Just a moment. Miller tripped up. John Starks raising his hand. Wanted to make sure Patrick Ewing did not pick it up because he was also on the scene. Starks with his second.
And there's that clever play again by Reggie Miller as he knows he's going to get trapped coming off on that pick and roll situation. And if there was any daylight at all, Reggie Miller limping right now as he banged knees with either Starks or Ewing. But Reggie realizing that trap was coming, and if he saw any daylight, he was going to try to split it in there to either get an open shot or to do this, something that he does at about a 90% clip, and that's make free throws.
Reggie Miller, yes, coming up, hobbling off that trap by Starks and Ewing. 3 and 9/10 seconds remaining in the half. Miller is 4 for 5 at the line. Hubert Davis has checked back in. This for the long-range possibility, a last-second shot. Well, the Knicks with only 68 points in Game 3. They have 58 here as we approach the half. Mason, the pass was batted away and deflected out. Last touch by Starks. Another Knick turnover off a poor outlet. Mason and Starks not able to connect on the exchange, and a 20-second timeout has been called by Indiana. Well, this week has certainly been a week of surprises in the world of sports. Indiana Pacers in that category, and so is Mary Pierce with her showing at the French Open. Pierce always thought to have the potential to make a Grand Slam final, but the circumstances surrounding her father, Jim, overshadowed her athletic accomplishments. Now playing superb tennis, the 19-year-old Mary Pierce will go against Arantxa Sanchez Vicario for the French Open title. Coverage of the final beginning tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 noon Pacific, right here on NBC Sports.
Mark, these are the situations that drive coaches nuts. 3.9 seconds left in the half. You don't really care if you get a score. If you do, great. But what you don't want to do is turn the ball over and give your opponent a chance for a 2 or a 3. And this is what we're talking about at the opening, about the poise that has been killing the Knicks, not being able to just execute these simple plays. Just get the ball inbound.
Derek McKee will throw in. 9/10 of a second to go in the half. Looking for Miller. Now Reggie Miller throws it with 2 hands and it hits the front of the rim. Reggie Miller nearly hit on an impossible looking shot. So Miller finished the first half with 13. Ewing with 11. The Knicks 58 and the Pacers 51. The Knicks hoping to extend the series to a 7th and decisive game back at Madison Square Garden in New York on Sunday night. Here's Miller with a fling, and it nearly got the rim. Knicks by 7 at halftime. Coming up, Bob of the Prudential halftime report right after these messages. Back in Indianapolis, where it has been a magical season for the Indiana Pacers. They're trying to advance to the NBA Finals for the first time in the history of the franchise. The Knicks seeking to send this to a 7th and final game at Madison Square Garden on Sunday night. It's the Knicks 58 and the Pacers 51. Marv Albert, Matt Dukas, and Ahmad Rashad. We just get started in the third quarter, and Rick Smits got the step, but could not complete it. Smits is now 4 of 12 from the field. Charles Smith facing a double team. Good recovery by the Pacers. Patrick Ewing with a drop step and then lost it. Smith recovers. Oakley with the volleyball pass to Ewing. Couldn't hit the reverse.
Tough sequence for the Knicks because they did everything right. They reversed the ball. They gave it up. Just could not get the ball to go into the basket.
Now Oakley guarding Smith. And the loose ball handled by Ewing. John Starks, Derek Harper in the backcourt. Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, Charles Smith up front. Here is Starks. And he's fouled on that three-point attempt. John Starks with all 11 points in the first quarter.
This position as a result of ball movement, getting all the way around the perimeter. Patrick Ewing getting stripped in there by Dale Davis, and then a nice touch pass from Charles Oakley as Patrick trying to take it to the other side of the rim, concerned that he might get that shot blocked by Rick Smits. It's very important for New York to get solid games from Ewing, Oakley, and Starks. They're three all-stars, they're three leaders, and they did that in the first half. Not only all of them getting 11 points each, but doing the other things as well. So Pat Riley talking, I'm sure, about that at halftime, but also saying we got to continue and run like we did in the first half. They got 17 fast break points.
Starks making his first appearance at the foul line, and he's given the Knicks a 60-51 advantage. Hayward Workman, Reggie Miller at the guards, Rick Smits, Dale Davis, and Derek McKee up front. Knicks going with the double team on Miller and stopped the shot. Pat Riley normally does not like to double up. McKee with a nice move, and then he's met by a double team, leading to the steal, and it's deflected out of bounds. Last touch by the Pacers. It has been Pat Riley's philosophy over the years not to go with the double team, but he has changed up here tonight from time to time.
Well, anytime Reggie Miller comes off the screen, and that big man, he better step out there and show. They might not necessarily want to trap when he comes off the screen, but just a big show to prevent the shot, and they will double team and trap on plays almost every time.
Hayward Workman called for the foul. Oakley not able to handle that pass, slightly off the mark, off a deflection. Smits lost his balance and kicked it out.
Well, Smits actually was the one that deflected that, and a nice catch by Reggie Miller, and Smits trying to turn the corner, wanting to get his head and shoulders around. He was able to do that, just lost his footing.
Rick Smits 1 for his last 7 from the field. Pacers 0 for the last 9. That goes back to the second quarter. Shot clock at 6. Smith. And back comes Workman. Going at Harper. And drew the foul.
Harden is getting serious out there right now. You know that Larry Brown talking to his team at halftime, not at all pleased with the overall defensive effort, especially at the beginning of the ball game. And this is why they have a 3-2 lead over New York in the Eastern Conference Final, as Derek Harper trying to prevent the layup, and does, from Workman, and putting him on the free throw line. But much more aggressive defensive pressure by the Pacers here to start the third period.
Hayward Workman in his 3rd NBA season. And Oral Roberts played in the Italian League the last 2 years. Barely made the Pacers after a poor preseason, then came on in the regular season, passing by the injury hit Pooh Richardson, winning the starting point guard job. Vern Fleming also hampered by injuries right throughout, so it was presented to Hayward Workman. Workman missing on both. The Knicks lead by 9. 2:20 gone by in the 3rd. Smith trying to come off the pick. Good ball movement. Harper passed on the shot. Good feed though, and Smith fouled. Dale Davis collecting his 3rd, and Charles Smith will head to the line.
Oh, the crowd reacting here because they thought the foul was going to be called on Rick Smits, the man who blocked that shot, but it was Dale Davis hitting Charles Smith underneath.
So 3 on Davis. Smits has 2. Antonio Davis also has 2. Knicks have certainly done it at the foul line, and they now have extended to a 10-point lead.
Knicks looking very confident right now, very focused, in control of this ball game, and the Pacers looking very unsure of themselves, in particular at the offensive end, just unable to get good shots.
The Knicks are 17 of 18 at the line. They match their biggest lead of the night, a margin of 11. Smith's trying to call attention and draw the foul, and he does. Patrick Ewing involved with Rick Smits, And that's 3 on Ewing.
Smith and Ewing working very hard on one another. Patrick trying to push out. And Smith really begging here, and the underneath official, Eddie Rush, giving him the call as that was way too much contact on one of those guys.
Pacers have not scored in this third quarter. Rick Smits, who had gone through a drought, converts Indiana's first field goal. Knicks lead 62-53. Starks. That's a two-point shot. Good hustle by Oakley, but he knocked it away. It will be Indiana ball.
Smits again working. Patrick Ewing going to try to take a charge here and flop a little bit to see if he could get the so-called makeup call, as he did not appreciate the call once before, as Patrick, I should say Patrick Ewing, looking at the official and wondering why he can't get a call.
Indiana Pacers once again have had the advantage on the offensive boards. Margin of 9-3. Pressure by the Knicks. Now they drop back. Workman goes across against Hopper. Ewing jumping out on the key. Ewing playing with 3 fouls. Shot clock at 5. Smith breaks it up. Pacers thought they had the height advantage down low, but Charles Smith got a hand on it. Smith around Smith to set up Oakley. Yes. Good play at both ends by Charles Smith.
I don't think Charles Smith realized how open he was in there to dunk the ball, but got away with it on the kick out, and battling hard inside is Charles Smith, fronting Rick Smits, and Dale Davis not able to get that lob pass high enough. Excellent defensive play by Charles Smith.
The Knicks by 11. 4 minutes in. Third quarter. Reggie Miller with the feed. Oakley broke it up. Miller for 3. Smits came away with it. Battle between Dale Davis and Charles Smith. Ewing saw that pass coming and broke it up. And then a foul is called against the Pacers. It's on Dale Davis. That is his 4th.
A wild sequence in there as nobody could get a handle on the basketball. Both teams very hard, working very hard. Dale Davis out hustling Charles Oakley for that loose ball. Got it because he pushed him off. As Patrick Ewing very alert in there, jumping into the passing lane as it appeared Derek McKee was wide open for a layup.
Antonio Davis replacing Dale Davis. Sits down after picking up his 4th foul. Ewing from way out. Patrick Ewing is not getting his normal shots. That's only a 6th shot of the game. Smits, he's been off. 5 for 16 for Rick Smits. The Knicks by 11 as we come up on 7 minutes to go in the third. McKee knocked it away, recovered by Hopper. And here is Smith, changed his mind, tried to hit Ewing with the pass. He tried to save it off Workman, could not. And Workman in the open floor lost the dribble and then recovered. This is not pretty basketball, folks. It is deflected out of bounds. Last touch by the Knicks, and a timeout is called with 6:48 remaining in the third.
And him not having any special talents, he's always seemed to get the job done. And then watching him, I seen why. He was just so physical and so mind-focused on what he had to do. So I just was maybe a little bit intimidated by it, but I think once I loosened up and got to play with him a couple of games and just watch some of the things that he did and try to do the same thing to him, they kind of worked. So after he pushed me around a little bit, I just knew I wasn't going to take it anymore, and I was able to relax and play a little bit better in 3 and 4.
Well, Hayward Workman with a rare Pacer field goal in this third quarter. They were 1 for 7 prior to that shot. And And the Knicks now lead by 9. I think Antonio Davis, as we see Starks hit the 3 to give the Knicks a 12-point lead. He's 4 for 4 from downtown. Antonio Davis referring to Charles Oakley not having special talents, but said it in complimentary fashion, meaning that Charles has gotten so much out of what he does have. And that is what he admires. Smith. Only a 6th field goal. He's 6 of 17 for 12 points. And the Knicks lead is now 10. And Starks tees it up, does it again. A 3-pointer for John Starks, who is on fire. 5 of 5 from downtown. 19 points for Starks, who has broken out after struggling with the shot.
Almost Miller-esque. It's only 2 straight by John, but he is capable of revving up a Reggie Miller type of offensive performance, or at least he was before he got hit.
And Antonio Davis able to work his way inside. John Starks did show some signs the other night in Game 5. He is a streak shooter, and right now has the touch going. Harper, yes. And Garrett Harper with his 4th field goal. He has 8 points. So the Knicks have caught fire again and now lead by 13.
Oh, the first 5 minutes of this 3rd quarter, neither team could get a good shot or even get a good pass off. Now they come out with timeout, and everybody's draining jumpers. I can't figure it out.
Harper came from behind looking for the block and picked up that foul.
John Starks coming off that screen. It was a switch inside between Reggie Miller and Derek McKee, and McKee too slow coming out as John Starks had all kinds of time and feeling it from the last one. Starks launches again from beyond the arc, and he'll let him go if you give him room. He came out and played a very strong game, not only offensively, had all 11 of his points in the 1st quarter, but worked very hard in trying to deny the ball to Reggie Miller and did a nice job in the 1st half.
So John Starks with 16 points, showing progress on a little series points graph. John Starks, 5 of 5 from downtown. The Knicks have hit 6 out of 9 from beyond the 3-point arc. 72-61 Knicks. Just under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd. Harper and Starks at the guards. Ewing, Mason, Oakley up front. Here's Ewing. Went to the left hand to get the step. Tipped home by Mason.
Nice penetration by Ewing. A reason there's more open spaces right now. Reggie Miller is staying very close to John Starks. He realizes what a good scoring guard who's got a hot hand can do. So he's not going to leave too far, and that's going to open up things inside for the Knicks.
Here is Miller. Reggie Miller. Line drives it home. Miller now 5 of 12 for 15 points. The Knicks 74 and the Pacers 63. A double team. Oakley unable to hit. Antonio Davis with the rebound. Antonio Davis burned Fleming. Fleming lost it. Ran it to Mason. Thought he'd draw the foul. And Harper had it knocked away. Forfeited to recover. Traveling violation on Mason. And that is his 7th turnover.
Reggie on the baseline. John changing his tactics defensively, now trying to follow. Patrick Ewing with the big show, but not quite far enough as Reggie Miller realizes that John Starks could be on the verge of a hot hand. He wants to make him work at the defensive end, but he's always looking for his shot anyway.
Charles Smith getting set to return. Miller was able to shake loose off a double team. Starks with the room, gave it up for Mason. And Anthony Mason is called for a charge. Anthony Mason has had a very difficult time out there.
But a nice play by John Starks on the give and go back to Mason. However, too much traffic in the lane as he has really been trying to do things in a hurry. The old John Wooden saying, be quick, but don't hurry. Anthony Mason is wired, trying to get too much done.
The matchup is Mason playing Smith. Starks broke it up, but a foul against the Knicks. It's on Charles Smith. That's 3 on Smith. The Knicks with their 4th team foul. McKee, Smits, Antonio Davis up front. Fleming and Miller at the guards. Again, it is Mason, helped by a double team working against Smits. The pass broken up by Anthony. 3 on 2. Here's Smith. Couldn't lay it down. Off the steal. Starks. John Starks taking advantage of the steal, and he's given the Knicks a 76-63 advantage.
Well, tenacious effort defensively by the Knicks. They are challenging those passes, deflecting them, and things are turning up for them at the offensive end. Great defensive play by Starks.
The Knicks able to recover on Smits, but the foul is called. And Smits will go to the line. Mason picks up his 2nd.
Charles Smith unable to finish off his play as he just did not have his steps right. But Smits on the careless outlet pass deflected and then finally stolen by John Starks.
John Starks with 21 points, 10 here in the 3rd. That enjoyed by Spike. Player very careful with the basketball, has had his problems here tonight. 8 turnovers for Anthony Mason. Charles Oakley had 8 in game 4 of this series. And Anthony Hardaway with a 10 turnover game earlier in the playoffs. The NBA record, and this in the category of dubious distinction. Super John Williamson with 11 turnovers in a game for the New Jersey Nets at Philadelphia. April 11th, 79. But, you know, Matt, these guys shouldn't feel too badly because several guys had 10. Pretty good names on the list. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Kevin Johnson, Quinn Buckner. For nothing to be ashamed of. These things do happen.
Well, in the case of a Magic Johnson, he's also making a lot of plays out there. Guys like Isaiah Thomas don't get a lot of turnovers, but they're making things happen offensively for their team.
Knicks by 11. We come up on 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Ewing. Patrick Ewing is 2 for 8 from the field. Haywood Workman met by Greg Anthony. Reggie Miller getting a rest. Fleming and Workman now in the backcourt. Again, it's Mason with help going against Smith. And it's Anthony ahead of the field. Greg Anthony extends to a 78-65 Knick lead. But the Knicks have to feel no lead is safe. They led by 12 going to the 4th quarter at Madison Square Garden on Wednesday night and went through the collapse. Lost their poise and one stretch 6 consecutive turnovers committed. Antonio Davis called for steps. The Knicks were looking for an offensive foul, but they'll take the travel call.
Well, a delayed whistle, as I think all the officials were waiting for somebody else to make the call. You could have called it either way, the charge or the walk as he shuffles his feet here, but dips that shoulder into Patrick Ewing. Interesting that Larry Brown, as he can't believe that call, has gone with Vern Fleming right now. Byron Scott, who was ineffective not only in the first half but in the last game, and Vern had a good first half, so while Reggie Miller rests, Vern Fleming at the shooting guard position.
Well, Sal Thompson on the floor now guarding Patrick Ewing. That pass through the hands of Charles Smith. Here's Hubert Davis for 3. Hubert just came on, rebounded by Antonio Davis. Just under 1 minute left in the 3rd. Indiana with the ball. They're trailing by 13. McKee bottled up by Smith, and the foul is called. It's number 4 on Charles Smith.
Well, we are just in the closing minute of the 3rd quarter, but with Reggie Miller getting his breather right now. Rick Smits on the bench for the Pacers. Not a lot of firepower out there for Indiana, so Derek McKee has to become more offensively involved.
Derek McKee in his 7th NBA season out of Alabama, acquired from Seattle in that deal for Trip. And a rare sight these days, Anthony Bonner, who played so well for the Knicks during the regular season, checking in for the first time tonight, has not played much in the playoffs. His playing time affected the last 26 games of the regular season. That's when Charles Smith came back after the knee surgery. Anthony Bonner for a while was used as a cosmetic starter. Did a good job. So it's Mason with Bonner and Ewing on the front line, and Davis and Anthony in the backcourt. Knicks by 11. And the foul is called. Now Garrettson indicating a hold on LaSalle Thompson.
Patrick Ewing directing traffic out there, wanting Greg Anthony to get the ball over the side. Greg Anthony continues to try to feed the post from too high out on the floor. He's got to get a better passing angle. He's got to break the foul line extended. That pass actually could have been stolen, or it should have been an offensive foul on Ewing.
Ewing 8 for 8 at the line. Here's the reaction from LaSalle Thompson. LaSalle the past 2 years hit hard by injuries. Broke his hand in the opening game of the series against Orlando. And had the strong game the other night at the Garden. They're the type of things that will show up in the stat sheet. Here's Thompson pulling up short. Bonner stepped out. Bonner to the rebound, but his foot on the baseline, and the ball goes back to the Pacers.
Vern Fleming has been able to almost penetrate at will in the minutes that he's played against the Knicks. Nice little drop-off pass to LaSalle Thompson, who just didn't have the leg lift to finish off that play. And for the closing 21 seconds, Reggie Miller, another offensive player out on the floor.
So Miller comes on for Workman. McKee will inbound. Miller, played by Anthony. Now to 15 seconds in the third. Davis hand-checking Fleming. Now to 10 seconds. Here's Fleming. And a pull-up. 5 seconds. Thompson. LaSalle Thompson off the drive. Final seconds of the third. Anthony. Big third quarter for that man. John Starks, 10 of his 21. He's done it from downtown. He's hit 5 3-pointers. After 3, it's the Knicks 80 and the Pacers 69. We'll be back after a word from your local station.
I'll have the highlights and post-game reaction after the game.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
The New York Knicks hoping to head in that direction, some 725 miles away, back to Madison Square Garden in New York for a 7th and decisive game on Sunday night, while the Indiana Pacers looking to go that way, some 977 miles to Houston, to meet up with the Houston Rockets in the NBA Final, which will get underway on Wednesday at the Summit. Fourth quarter underway, very similar to what took place in game number 5 going to the 4th. The Knicks had a 12-point lead, a seemingly comfortable 12-point lead at home. They lead by 11 here at Market Square. Ewing played by Thompson. Anthony. Shot clock at 2. Ewing for Bonner. And it's a 24-second violation. So Ewing should have taken the shot. He lost sight of the clock.
Well, the Knicks have played very unselfishly all night long. Continue to make the extra pass, which is not a bad idea. But somebody out on the floor has to take the reins of leadership and let everybody know what the clock situation is and make sure you get a good shot. That's how you can get in trouble in the fourth quarter, especially on the road.
All right, here's Miller for 3. And the Pacers hoping that it is Miller time once again. He destroyed the Knicks in New York on Wednesday. 38 of his 60 points have come in the fourth quarter. The last 3 games. And the foul is called. A pushing foul on Sam Mitchell has just checked in.
Once again, Pat Riley not wanting Hubert Davis to play Miller, putting the quicker, faster Anthony, who's trailing him around that screens, but not getting the show, mainly because Reggie is so far away that the big man defender cannot step out that far. But Pat Riley is probably going to have to rethink it if Reggie makes another 1 or 2. They're going to have to step out and switch when he comes off screen.
Reggie Miller hitting his second from downtown a moment ago. The Knicks are now 21 of 22 from the line. Hubert Davis with his first point of the night. Reggie Miller 6 for 14. Most of his field goals from in close to this point. He has 18 points. The Knicks by 10. A minute in, fourth quarter. The Knicks very wary of the Pacers as this fourth quarter gets underway. In recent times, it had been New York so effective in the fourth quarter. Here is Thompson. Rebound swept by Ewing. And we get a whistle. Apparently the ball deflected out of bounds. So Anthony moved back against Fleming.
That time when Reggie came off that stagger screen, Oakley stepping out high to prevent the shot being taken.
Starks looking for the pick. Shot clock at 6. Shot clock at 2. And it's a 3-second violation. Mason couldn't get out of the lane. Or Oakley. Apparently Oakley in the lane. And the Knicks with their 17th turnover. Indiana has 15. And they're going wild at Market Square. The Knicks by 10. Trying to hold on to send this series back to the Garden on Sunday. LaSalle Thompson through the foul. The Pacers looking to wrap it in 6. And this a similar pattern to a year ago when the Knicks won the first 2 against the Chicago Bulls in the Eastern Conference Final and then lost 4 in a row. The Knicks win the first 2 in this series and they have dropped 3 straight.
Reggie Miller coming off that screen. The big show here by Patrick Ewing. The defense here by Starks. And it's going to leave LaSalle Thompson open up inside. That's the kind of movement. And when Reggie Miller draws defense, he can get good looks for his teammates.
LaSalle Thompson, who saw limited action during the regular season, was only a 55% free throw shooter, but hits both right here. Light pressure shown by Indiana. They cut it down to 8 with 2 minutes gone by in the fourth. And they are on their feet here at Market Square. Anthony. And it's rebounded by Mitchell. Miller for 3. Antonio Davis with the save. Last touch by LaSalle Thompson of the Pacers.
Well, a haymaker pick outside by LaSalle Thompson. One of the reasons why he's in the ballgame is there to try to free up Reggie Miller, and he bopped John Starks.
Miller Genuine Draft presents Genuine Moments.
Today's Miller Moment takes us back to Game 6. Knicks and the Bulls, last year's Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks won the first 2 games and then lost the next 3. And in Game 6 at Chicago, the Bulls, led by Michael Jordan's 25 points, plus 24 points from Scottie Pippen, defeated New York 96-88. The Bulls winning the series 4 games to 2, taking the last 4 games. In recognition of this moment, Miller Genuine Draft will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. And the Knicks are trying to prevent the same scenario from a year ago. Let's check in with the mob.
All right, Mark, during that last time out, Pat Riley emphasizing to his team to play strong. Play strong. Also tell him to drive the ball to the basket every single time. Mark?
And the Pacers open up with pressure on the inbounds and then drop back. 9.5 to go in the fourth. The Knicks lead by 8. Here's Starks off balance. Well, that wasn't what Pat Riley wanted. As Amaji said, he wants his club to drive the ball, and it turned out to be an air ball unleashed by Starks, who had hit his previous 5 from 3-point land.
But apparently Pat does not want to just rely on jump shots down the stretch here. Figures the Knicks take the ball to the basket. Antonio Davis is a shot blocker, but that way you can still get second shot opportunities when you draw defenders.
And the key foul by Mason. Second team foul on the Knicks. Pacers with 1. Third foul committed by Mason. The Knicks began Game 5 with a 15-2 run. Indiana ended it with that electrifying 20-1 spurt. And they're right back to it here tonight. Vern Fleming cuts it to 6. The Knicks have missed their last 4 shots. And the question is, can they show poise? They did not in Game 5, and they are showing signs of cracking here once again. Shot clock at 4. Here is Starks. John Starks giving the Knicks an 84-76 lead.
Well, Reggie Miller ran right into the peck of Patrick Ewing, tried to flop and get the call. Good no call, but John Starks couldn't get all the way to the hoop, and he got a little halfway penetration and a good look.
Miller trying to do it off the dribble. Went to the step back and hit. Reggie Miller again stepping back and converting. The Knicks lead is now 6. And Reggie Miller beginning to succeed with the long bombs. He has 20. 8 minutes to go in the 4th. Ewing getting the step. Patrick Ewing has had a quiet game. Only 15 points, 3 of 9 from the field. He's done it at the line. He's 9 for 9 at the foul line. Fleming on a finger roll was fouled.
Reggie Miller isolated one-on-one against John Starks. Really can't get by him here. This, believe it or not, is not a good shot. He had to step back and fling it with John Starks right in his face. But when this guy gets it going offensively, he can almost drop kick the thing in.
Fleming for the line. He's 2 of 2 from the line. He was fouled by Greg Anthony, who was called for his 5th. Anthony replaced by Derek Harper. Rick Smits returns. Antonio Davis hearing the cheers. Once again, nice job by Antonio Davis. 11 points, 6 rebounds. The Knicks lead is 6. Pressure on the ball. Harper for Oakley at midcourt. Oakley with some room. Oakley lost it. Another costly mistake by the Knicks handling the ball. Pat, we saw this movie, didn't we, Wednesday in New York?
And Pat Riley is furious that time. As Charles Oakley, yes, he did have open spaces, but out of control. Should have given it up to the guard first and then go inside.
Here's Miller. Off balance, came up short. Foul is called. Well, a moment ago, at the Knicks bench, Pat Riley telling his veteran, Derek Harper, settle this thing down. Settle the guys down. That's the major reason that Derek Harper was brought here from Dallas. He has had a disappointing series, a disappointing playoff. That foul was called on Starks. Timeout taken. 7:13 remaining in the 4th quarter. A 20-second timeout called. The Knicks lead 86-80. Well, the French Open witnessed a grand slam stunner yesterday when Mary Pierce put an end to Steffi Graf's 33-match grand slam winning streak to advance to the finals. The 19-year-old has certainly played exceptional tennis at Roland Garros, dropping only 10 games in her march to the finals. She is the toast of Paris, and she'll face Arantxa Sanchez Vicario for the Ladies' Championship tomorrow, right here on NBC, starting at 3 Eastern Time. That'll be 12 noon Pacific.
Well, Reggie Miller just wears you down and wears you down. Once again, he had nowhere to go against the tough defense of John Starks. Tried that little step-back shot. John Starks, in his frustration, I think, from the shot before, tried the extra effort, leaned in and hit the elbow and arm of Reggie Miller. And as I've said before, you just do not want to put this guy on the free throw line. He's a 90%er during the year and in this series.
Indiana has outscored the Knicks 13-6 in the 4th quarter. And the Knicks lead by only 4. They led by 11 at the start of the 4th. Ewing facing a double team. Harper. And the rebound is handled by Fleming. The Knicks in the midst of a collapse for the second straight game. Still lots of time left. Rebound Oakley. And here's Starks in the open floor, and he's fouled. John Starks will go to the line. Vern Fleming picks up the foul, his second, but first a timeout is taken. 6:43 to go in the fourth.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. By MCI, the company that brings you proof positive. And by Toyota, makers of the exciting all-new Celica. Watch out, it's here.
Welcome back to Market Square Arena in Indianapolis. New York Knicks president Dave Checkins on the left. Vice President General Manager Ernie Grunfeld on the right. Certainly not pleased with that stat line. Indiana Pacers trying to pull off what they accomplished Wednesday night at Madison Square Garden. The expectations for this Knicks franchise so great coming into the season, in particular following the retirement of Michael Jordan. The Knicks went through the regular season having their ups and downs. Did finish at 57-25, second in the Eastern Conference. Did win the Atlantic Division. John Starks giving the Knicks a 5-point lead. First round of the playoffs, they knocked off the Nets 3-1. Beat the Bulls in that grueling 7-game series. Win the first two here against Indiana in this series, and then have lost the last three and try to hold on here to send it to a 7th and final game back to New York. The Knicks now lead 88-82. They have hit 14 straight at the foul line. Ewing and Smits battling for position. 6.5 remaining in the fourth. McKee, that's a two-pointer put on the line. Just Kersey first signal 3 and then changed to 2. 88-84. The Knicks with the lead, and they turn it over again.
John Starks never saw Dale Davis sneak up from behind him and knock the ball loose. You got to see the floor in front of you and behind you.
Fourth turnover by the Knicks in this fourth quarter. Here is Miller. Yes. It's down to 2.
New York now has to look for John Starks. He's having a good offensive game. He's got to make Reggie Miller work at that end of the floor.
Reggie Miller with 9 points in the fourth quarter. Patrick Ewing, who has been silent. Ewing not able to get the ball. That's only his 10th shot. 17 points. Most of the points from the line. And the Knicks lead 90-86. Miller off the fake. McKee for Fleming. Shot clock at 6. Shot clock at 2. Miller for 3. Davis kept it alive. Here's Smits. Again, it is down to a 2-point. Knicks lead with 5 minutes remaining in the fourth. Starks gets the pick from Ewing, sets up Oakley, and he's fouled.
The Pacers have to be very careful here not to try and expect Reggie Miller to get every basket. Reggie really isn't a one-on-one player, forced to put the ball on the floor here, able to get this one up, but a lot of times just his movement without the ball will get good shots for his teammates.
Dale Davis called for the foul, his 5th. The Knicks have led all the way. Charles Oakley now 3 of 5 from the line. The Knicks have hit 14 straight at the line. Oakley converting 1 of 2. It is a 3-point Knick lead. 4:47 remaining in the fourth, and a timeout is called. 7th year out of UCLA, one of the league's premier shooters. If there were 4-point range, he would lead the NBA in that category, and doing it again in the 4th quarter. Indiana has outscored the Knicks in the 4th. 19-11. Miller with 9 of those 19 points. Timeout rundown. Knicks have 4 left. Indiana with 2 and a 20. It's a 3-point Knick lead. 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the 4th. The Knicks trying to hold on for their playoff lives. Indiana looking to go to the NBA Finals for the very first time. Harper with the steal. 3 on 2. Here's Smith. He was stopped by McKee. Charles Smith stopped. Miller. Rebound Antonio Davis. And he's fouled by Smith. This is the second time tonight that Smith was not able to convert on a driving shot.
But this one's in a lot of traffic and challenged, and he is hit down low by McKee. And Charles Smith shows his disgust on the no call, as does Pat Riley, as there was contact. Smith should have gone to the free throw line. The quick 3 by Miller doesn't go, but on the weak side, rebounding position, Antonio Davis, who continues to struggle from the line.
He is now 3 of 5 at the foul line. And the bad free throw shooting has hurt the Pacers. Fortunate to get away with it in New York in Game 5. Oh! So he misses on both, and then on the follow, a foul is called. Foul against the Pacers. Small foul is on Smith's, his 3rd. Indiana with their 14th foul. New York has 5. Knicks lead by 3. We come up on 4 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Ewing being pushed out by Smith. Couldn't get position. Ewing called for the offensive foul.
Reggie Miller getting in front of Ewing, just trying to slow him up a little bit. Nothing that HarL'son could do but call that foul as Ewing threw out that left elbow, and Reggie did enough acting to get the call.
4th on Ewing, who has scored only 6 points in the second half. And that was the case the other night at the Garden. A silent 4th quarter after the good start. Workman. Way off. Looked like that was tipped. So the Knicks maintain a 3-point lead. Down to 3:35 remaining in the 4th. Starks and Harper up the guard. Ewing, Smith, Oakley up front. Shot clock at 6. Ewing lost it.
Well, the Knicks taking too much time to get into this play, going side to side. Finally get it to Patrick Ewing with about 7 seconds on the shot clock. In turn, he tries to rush the play and mishandles.
21st turnover committed by the Knicks. Nice backdoor pass, and Miller is fouled. Miller lost Starks along the baseline. Reggie Miller will go to the line.
But working his way around screens, but working the baseline, and a sharp back cut there, and getting the pass, and Reggie drawing the contact. And the amount of energy and stamina that Reggie Miller has is unbelievable. You look at that spindly body, but he can run all night long and stop on a dime, and that is very, very difficult.
5th foul called on Patrick Ewing. 25 points for Miller. He is now 8 of 10 from the line. The Knicks call for time. 3 minutes, 3 seconds to go. In the 4th, the Knicks lead by only 2. The foul rundown, 5 apiece on Smith, Anthony, and Ewing. Hale Davis is 5. 3 minutes, 3 seconds to go in the 4th. The Knicks 91, the Pacers 89. Reggie Miller will shoot his 2nd free throw. Indiana has outscored the Knicks 20-11. in the fourth quarter. Miller with 10 of the 20 points. During the course of the good runs by the Knicks this season, the 15-game win streak earlier on the playoffs, the Knicks owned the fourth quarter. It has not been the case against the Indiana Pacers. 1-point lead for the Knicks. They've led all the way. Ewing forced outside again and lost it again. Indiana can take the lead for the first time. 7th turnover by the Knicks in the fourth quarter. 2:35 remaining. Miller off the screen. Steps back. Not able to hit this time. Ewing with the rebound. Harper handles against Workman. And again, they are on their feet at Market Square. Dale Davis jumping out. Smith, 5 of the 24, gave it away. Miller with the steal, and a foul is called. We are seeing a Knicks team crumble for the second straight game. Starks called for the foul, his 4th.
Well, the Knicks are just having a nightmare in their half-court offense. Very slow to get into plays. Workman is denying Harper. That's not that big a deal because John Starks can start, but Charles Smith, nobody came to meet the ball. He didn't take an aggressive offensive position, and Reggie Miller steps into the passing lane. But you got to give Workman credit for pressuring Harper, denying him the ball, and keeping the Knicks from getting into anything in a smooth fashion.
And once again, this Indiana Pacers squad doing a terrific job defensively. Larry Brown has revitalized this franchise through defense. Reggie Miller with a rare miss.
And he knew it as soon as it left his hand. He was trying to back up and body English that thing in.
Matt, win or lose tonight or Sunday, if the series reaches Sunday, this is a Knicks team that will undergo major changes. That is within the confines of the salary cap, even if they should go on to the championship round. This roster will be revamped. The game is tied at 91. The last time they were tied, it was 35 apiece. Harper, yes. And the question is, can the Knicks regain their poise? They have lost it again in the fourth. 1:45 remaining. Lenny handling against Harper. Miller operating down low against Starks, hiding along the baseline off the screen. Shot clock at 6. Here's Miller, lost it. Starks and Mason combined to knock it away. Starks accelerates, and he draws the foul. Foul committed by McKee.
Now Reggie has had a couple of turnovers by making that tight curl and trying to get in the lane and draw some contact, and he's rushing things right now, trying to do it too quickly, and Starks doing the right thing at the other end. Really had nobody running with him. Decided to challenge the 6'10" Derek McKee, but all the while making sure he draws some contact.
That was an enormous play. Starks to the line, 4 for 4 at the line, and has been dependable in clutch situations.
Well, it had not been pretty for the Knicks in the last couple of minutes, but I think if you told Pat Riley before the game we'd have a tie game with 2 minutes to go and a chance to win this thing and send it back to the Garden for Game 7, I think he'd be reasonably happy.
I don't know if he would have accepted these circumstances.
No, I say, it was not pretty getting to that tie situation, but these games have been spurts by either team. The defense at some point has been fierce.
Starks not able to hit the second on the back tap. It's handled by the Pacers. The Knicks 94 and the Pacers 91. 1:15 remaining in the fourth. Key played by Mason. Key checked the clock. Shot clock at 5. Down to 3. McKee for 3. And the rebound handled by Oakley. So a Knick possession. Starks for Mason. Derek Harper trying to get the message across to take time off the clock here. Shot clock down to 7. 40 seconds to go in the fourth. 3-point Knick lead. Oakley fielding that pass, knocked away. And here comes Fleming, putting the move on Harper. Harper stripped him. Derek Harper with the strip. Half minute remaining, and again Harper tries to slow it down. Just a wild finish. And the foul called on Fleming, giving the foul.
Well, Vern Fleming very aware of this situation, knowing his team trailing by 3, trying to force the action and get a layup and a foul in that situation. But lightning quick hands by Derek Harper, able to strip it down low, as Derek Harper has come up big in the last minute or so with a big field goal into the lane and really struggling mightily from the foul line.
Derek Harper at the line in the playoffs, 17 for 31, which is horrendous. The Knicks are 26 for 30 for the game. 25 and 1/10 second to go in the fourth quarter. The Knicks lead by 3, and they have taken a timeout. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Indiana with 2 and 20. Here's the reaction of Pat Riley to that missed free throw by Derek Harper. We'll be back in a moment. We welcome you back to Market Square Arena in Indianapolis. The Knicks 94. The Pacers 91. That's the timeout rundown. 25 and 1/10 seconds to go. Derek Harper, who has had 5 steals here today, including that big strip just a moment ago, at the line for his second free throw. He missed his first. Remember, the Indiana Pacers have not lost here at home since back on April 8th. 10 straight since then. 4 in the regular season, 6 in the playoffs. Knicks lost their previous 2 here in the playoffs at Market Square. And Harper hits his second to give the Knicks a 95-91 lead. Both teams over the limit. Knicks do not want a foul. Fleming for Miller. Miller looking for a 4-point play possibility. Fleming for 3. Rebound knocked away from Smits. Final seconds of the fourth quarter. Mason came up with it, and he drew the foul. And the Knicks will be very fortunate to get off the hook here at Indianapolis. And this series is headed back to Madison Square Garden in New York. Derek McKee with the foul. Game number 7 of this best-of-7 Eastern Conference final coming up on Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time. And the winner will go on to face the Houston Rockets, winners in the West, with Game 1 of the NBA Finals on Wednesday at the Summit. But the Knicks extremely fortunate to pull this one out.
The last 3 or 4 slow trips for the Pacers into their offensive end were very dismal, but you got to give a lot of credit to the New York defense, especially John Starks, who really stayed very, very close to Reggie Miller and prevented him from getting a good look.
Right here, let's pause for station identification. Back after this, after a word from your local station. Looking ahead to the 7th and deciding game at Madison Square Garden on Sunday, the home team has won 18 straight Game 7s. However, the Indiana Pacers knocked off the New York Knicks at home in game number 5. The inbounds pass stolen by Mason, and he is fouled with 1 6/10 seconds remaining. John Starks leading the way for the Knicks. A look at the rundown tonight. Jay Leno welcomes Tom Arnold. Dennis Rodman of the San Antonio Spurs. And Conan O'Brien, followed by Friday night, right here on NBC, following your local news. Viewers on the West Coast will see these shows at their regularly scheduled times, following a special edition of Eyewitness Video and local programming. John Starks, 26 points, 8 of 11 shooting, 5 from downtown. Patrick Ewing did not come up big offensively with 17 points. For the most part, did it at the foul line. Reggie Miller, points, 12 in the fourth quarter, came close to sparking the Pacers to overtake the Knicks. However, the Knicks able to hang on and come away with a 98-91 victory, and they have tied the series at 3. Let's go to Ahmad, who has John Starks alongside him.
All right, thanks, Marv. John, I know that you guys were very concerned about these last 4 quarters. Today, you guys held them off.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big task, though, but we did the right thing in getting this first win. This is very important. We just wanted to get it back to the Garden.
Very different atmosphere in the locker room before the game. You guys very businesslike. I think realizing that this was the biggest game of the entire season.
We treated it like it was the seven game of a championship, and we came out very well. Throughout the game, we sustained a lot of defensive intensity.
Did you guys fear crumbling in the fourth quarter?
Not really. I think we just stayed together as a team, and you know, they missed a couple of shots and we missed a couple of shots, but we got it done down the end.
All right, congratulations to you. I'll see you on Sunday. All right, back to you, Marv.
All right, Ahmad, the New York Knicks tie the series with a 98-91 win over the Indiana Pacers. It appeared to be headed to the same scenario that we saw Wednesday night in New York, with this time the Knicks able to hang on thanks to a key strip, one of 5 steals by Derek Hopper. Again, that final, the Knicks 98 and the Pacers 91. We'll see you Sunday night from Madison Square Garden. For Matt Kukas and Ahmad Rashad, I'm Marv Alberts. This has been the NBA on NBC.